Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We are back again to react to a new video. I hope all of you are very okay. I hope everybody is right. I just want to go through this video, but before then, let me say this. I got a comment from the video that I just posted last on this platform that has to do with the issue of Muslim Gano's wife. So I have this post here. Just see this post. Just look at it. Some people think that I am afraid of saying going hard on the Master Monogamous wife or something like that. It's not about being afraid. It's about being respectful to Master Monogamous. Like I said, does she deserve that? The answer is no. I don't want to say that, but some of you, if you are one of the people that are putting that kind of comment, if you don't want to discuss about her, leave her issue for people that are willing to do that. I don't know what gives you the right to judge me to be the one to select who and who is going to talk about it. First of all, you did not ask me to make a video about her. I decided to do it. So I don't want that kind of comment again to avoid emergency blocking. I don't like it. So please, can we be respectful? What I said, if you feel that there's something that you want me to say that I did not say, you can also add your own. Do you understand? Please, let's just understand each other. I know what I'm saying, and I cannot I can and I don't think I will do more exposition on her than PM. If you listen to that video, I made it clear that I'm not here to fight to defend PM Samarepa. That's the reason why I said that, because I know that if he choose to do that, he will do it better. And so for some people not to use it against him, that he's sending people to talk about her. I know what I'm saying. This allegation that PM is insulting her and talking bad about her, some of them are using that simply because of video other people made, not PM. That's why I said I challenge them all to bring the evidence. What these people do is that, for example, if I say something, if I talk anyhow or bring everything the way you guys, some of you want, they're not going to call my name. They're not going to come after me. They will use PM, and that's what I don't want. So please, let's be respectful on that. Thank you. Now, this video you're about to watch now is the response, or should I say, a kind of word of appreciation from the good person, and credit to the source of the video. The guy here says something that is very interesting. Some of us have seen the news from Punch newspaper and Nigerian media platform saying that Nigerian army are now looking for a source, a way to calling international community to help them to do one of Abracadabra in Igbo land, to help them to terrorize our people once more. But the issue is that everybody is now picking paying attention to the information coming out. Let's go through this video and I will now come back and tell you my opinion. Let's watch this.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Christian. First and foremost, I want to use this opportunity to thank, I think, the Prime Minister of the Biafran in exile, that's Ekpa. I saw the video on his timeline where he said that this guy is from the Yoruba, extraction, and they will release him just to show again that the Igbos are not enemies to the Yorubas. However, they are against every tribe that works with the Nigerian army, that are doing everything possible to annihilate their own people fighting for their own liberation. I think that's a kind and it's a way to go. However, it's a shame on the Nigerian army, and it's an indictment that the Biafran Liberation Army are defeating the Nigerian army on all fronts and ground. In fact, there is a response to that from the Nigerian army, and I can see that the Nigerian army are also seeking the international bodies, they are seeking the assistance of the international bodies in every way, to repatriate the money back home. But you see, I think the one thing is Biafra has gotten one thing right. They've learned from the mistake of the past. And this time, I think they are standing on a solid foundation with the support of Simon Ekpa, who is dismantling every formation of the Nigerian army in the southeast. Don't forget, it was the Nigerian army that took the battle to them. And in fact, they call it, this is a war, an asymmetric war. I could recall that was a statement of
The chief of defense staff.
chief of defense staff. But but as it were today, over 6 months later, the Nigerian army are the one crying wolf, seeking for assistance, international help, and all that. It's an indictment, and I think for me, my happiest moment was when I saw that guy. Though he was being beaten, his face were battered.
But before he was captured, he was in a fierce confrontation. Possibly he could have sustained such injury before he was finally captured.
Well, be that as it may, I'm just happy that the man has his life intact. Because I mean, just a trigger, just one squeeze of the trigger, the guy has gone. He's gone. So I mean, to my fellow Yorubas, I think we should not continue to buy that story that Igbos are the enemies. I think the enemies are the bad people in governance. I mean, if we are going to look at who is the president of Nigeria today, it's a Yoruba man. He's a man who has not shown empathy even to his own fellow tribes people. It is a man who doesn't even give a damn about the flood happening in Maiduguri. All what it's about is re-election comes 2007. He's doing everything possible, erecting his own political, stalwarts, his machineries. He's doing everything to silence the voice of the people. And of course, when I'm talking about the voice of, I'm talking about the voice of the Igbos, or Biafrans as they like to be called. I mean, just recently we saw that the initiative about the CNG, they call it compressed natural gas, amongst all the states, the Southeast were omitted. If we go to the NEL fund, which is the education loan fund, we can see that the Southeast have not benefited significantly. So it's very, very disturbing that this is a land that provides gas. This is a land that is rich in gas and oil. Look at Imo, look at Abia. And then if you look at all the southern states that happens to be a part of the Biafra struggle, these are the states that are well rich in these oil resources. And of course, the government keeps on ignoring them. So of course, I mean, these guys are justified if they say they want to succeed. Because if they get what it is needed to be gotten from a working system, I don't think the Igbos will want to succeed. In fact, they will be the major advocates of Nigerians because they happen to be the most traveled. Internally, they happen to be the most traveled. The Yorubas hardly travel around. They stay within their, but the Igbos, they travel, they go for trading. So they happen to always demonstrate the oneness that we are actually, counting. But of course, it is unfortunate that the Nigerian Federation has always marginalized them. I'm very happy that this guy, his family, I'm sure he would have reunited with his family now. The Corporal Toriola would have united with his family, and I am sure he will pray for Simon Ekpa wherever he is. And I mean, going forward, if you are a Yoruba man and you have been sent to an Igbo land, I will advise you to leave that duty for the Fulanis, or the Hausas. Please, we are having issues back home here in Southwest. You can see what the Fulanis are doing for our mothers and sisters in Ondo State. Please, if you are a Yoruba soldier, tell them that you don't want to go to Igbo land. The Igbos are not having any issue. We are the one now having issues. The Fulanis look at, those guys have crept into our forest.
Exactly.
If you go to Ogun State Forest, now all the Ogun State Forest, the Amu Resort, almost everywhere in Oyo State, in Ondo State, these Fulanis are there. They are building their camps, taking over people's lands, unabated, just because they are not yet, there's no yet much noise. So the Nigerian Yoruba armies should please come back home and protect us. That is what we need. Because as it were, if the Biafran ever succeed today, let me tell you, the Yoruba land will be the prey in the hands of the predative Hausa Fulanis if care is not taken. And on a last note, I want to appreciate Simon Ekpa again for his kindness, and just for adventure, they find more Yoruba army in the Igbo land. I want to beg in advance, please don't kill them. send them back home, just like you did with Toriola. Thank you very much.
So I believe you have listened to what this Oduduwa guy said, and I would like you to tell me what you think about it. But before then, let this be on record. I have said this many times. Igbos, Biafrans, we are not fighting, you know, anybody, any nations like Oduduwa nations, even Hausa or Fulani. It's not about fighting who you fighting identity, like you are not Igbo, you are not Biafran, therefore you are meant to be killed. No, nobody is doing that. And if you have been told, or maybe by anybody, that Igbos hate you, that you know is a lie. What is going on in Nigeria today is about, you know, ethnic cleansing from Fulani people. But those ones are doing it just because they want jihad. Not that every Igbo or Biafrans are happy to see you going through difficulties or killing you. No, or don't come to our land. It's not true. That's why when I hear some people saying Igbos love to travel from place to place, but you can nobody live in they're not welcoming. I find that kind of statement as an insult. It's not true. What we are actually fighting for is is just to survive, to live and let live, nothing more. So Yorubas and Hausas, nobody is picking fight or hating you or anything. Remember, like this, how like what is our brother said here, that they are the one that bringing fight to the Biafrans, not Biafrans bringing it to them. Can we understand that? Because sometimes when these Nigerian media, when they talk, it sounds like, Nigerians are everything is peaceful, and all of a sudden, their Igbos are now, Biafrans are now looking for your problem and all that. I am happy that the message is, getting to people that is meant to get to. The message I'm talking about is that Biafrans are not against who you are, like Oduduwa people. The earlier you begin to understand those things, is better for all of us. Just like what he said again, that in forest of Oduduwa people in Yoruba land, things are going on in the bushes, and people that are there are not a pushover. They are not people that you can say, okay, let them be there tomorrow. I will just go there and send them out. No, they are there for a purpose. Just like what PM said when he was addressing Amaka yesterday. So some of you, I believe you have watched the video. There's something PM said very, very important. He said that look at what they're doing to people in the Benue. Imagine what they're doing to Benue people. That they somehow love Benue more than you. They hate you with everything. If they can do to Benue people like this, I'm talking about Igbo people here, not Oduduwa. So if they can hate Benue people like this, imagine what they would have done to you as a Biafran or as an Igbo person. Now they have seen that it's not easy for them to carry that thing they want. It's not easy for them to carry it out. Very easy. They are now moving to other places like Yoruba land, because the issue, the agenda is to create problem between Igbo and Yoruba, so that whenever they invade any of you, the other one will be smiling and clapping. Oh, it's good, it's good. And the only tribe that understand it very, very clear are Biafrans, Igbos, right? So now Yorubas, not when I say Yoruba, I'm not talking about Afanja. I'm talking about the sensible, reasonable Oduduwa people, like this guy. Even though this one is repented, to be honest, I have seen his video in the past where he was raining insult on Igbo tribe. But that is not the reason why that is not the purpose of this video. I just want to appreciate him. Like I said, credit to the guy that interviewed him. What he said is on point. I love what he said, so that we can learn and understand the agenda of Biafrans. Fighting for freedom is not a call for hate. No. And Afonjas as telling you when Biafran sounds like me now, telling you that there is no need to fight each other. We actually have a common problem. Can we focus on the problem and solve it once and for all? Some of them believe that you are saying it because you don't want Yorubas to deal with you because you have Igbos in your land. Listen, you cannot do what you have done. You cannot do more than what you have done before. That's not the fact. Go and check history. Igbos have been on the receiving side for ages. So destroying the properties of Igbo man or going after their life and buying them in the mines and all that is not something new. Are we praying, hoping that that kind of thing will be repeated again? No. I don't wish for any killing or any destruction of anything. No, that's not me. I don't like it, and I pray it's not gonna get to that point. Do you understand? It is obvious that Nigerian army are now picking the point. You see, the video that Biafran Prime Minister released on his X handle, where that our brother, I said our brother because we are all Southerners, Yorubas and Igbos, you understand? So that our brother from Oduduwa land that was released, and Sunday Igboho, who happened to be the leader of Oduduwa, understand what it means. Koiki as well. I follow them. I have listened to their own view on that, which is very, very nice. And despite the insult from some Afonjas, because what thing about Afon is just to state they hate peaceful environment, they hate it. They always want to instigate problem. Not that they're willing to fight, they just want you to start running helter-skelter, looking for a way to get one or two things. But the agenda and their motive is to make sure that they put confusion in the minds of everybody, whereas they are busy sleeping. If you follow the information from Nigerian Army, like I was saying, you will see what Punch newspaper reported. They said there's something that they themselves have been hiding and working hard not to mention. I've said this in the past. When they launched Eastern Security by Oyedomas Namondekano, Nigerian government and Nigerian media was trying all they could not to mention ESL. When the things start getting to them the way they did not expect, they have seen that this thing is getting out of hand. The way they're moving forward is not something that they're gonna hide. They started using the ESN. Now the Biafran Liberation Army, they are trying not to use it. They are trying not to call PM. They are trying to make sure that they don't want to mention Biafran in exile, government in exile. They are trying to do all those things simply because they don't want to legitimize the real issue. Now, Punch also in their report made mention of Biafran Liberation Army. They said it, and it is in the Punch newspaper. They are now somehow they have started, and it's not. I'm not saying they should stop. What I'm trying to tell you is that there's something that you cannot hide from, and Nigerians are not used. The government and the security agencies are not used to reality because they always believe in propaganda and all this corrupt movement, buying things over without following the due process. That is what they're known for. They don't have patience to follow things, step by step. That's why they believe that they can kidnap him and send it back to Nigeria in a twinkle of an eye. They will do it, and no. They also believe that the same way they believe that they will send Amaka, they will arrest Amaka in Canada and send her back without any delay. Their government. This is just like court, secret court. They not a court, and though I'm talking about this the one they normally this gangster court I'm talking about. So the way they carry the activities is similar like that. They believe that they can do anything by fire by force. Just get it done, just like what President said before the election when he was campaigning. Get it, run. How did he say it? He said, snatch it, run with it, and something like that. Tinubu's message statement like that. That is what they're known for, and you can't beat the nation with such mentality. You can't do it. There's no way you will survive with that kind of belief that you will do anything without following the due process. Now, Nigerian army are now crying and looking for a way to get things done, seeking for international committee to help them, ICC and what have you. After writing to the European Union, this is something that is very, very simple for black people to understand. You don't need to fight each other. We have a very wide land in Africa. A very huge land that can contain everybody. But one tribe believe that their own is to exterminate another tribe and thinking that it will just be like that. It's not going to happen. Listen to what they're saying here. I will share this video with you from TV. This one is called TVVOP News. I don't know. This is a new platform in Nigeria these days. I don't know. But listen to what they said here. And thank you so much for your support and your time. Make sure you like this video and share it. God bless you and see you again. Bye bye for now.
Issue is a long-standing one. and I'm not sure that the call from the Nigerian army is necessarily targeted at a particular event that is coming up. I think it's probably more them. In my opinion, I think they're even playing to the gallery to an extent. I haven't particularly taken their call seriously, for one simple reason. The Nigerian army is notorious with its human rights records, in those theaters where they have been in operations trying to combat whatever forces, they might feel that they are legitimately combating. Legitimately so. But in the process of defending the territorial integrity of your country, there are rules and conventions all over the world with regards to how you treat even enemy combatants. And the Nigerian army has not been particularly, they've not painted themselves in glory.
So you think that their notoriety in how they carry out their operations is going to, deter the international organization from listening to their calls or their...
Yeah, I think that their call will be taken with a pinch of salt. It almost seems as like a bit of sarcasm to me. Everybody, so to put it in common parlance, hey, Shebi, every time you people are carrying us to ICC and carrying us to Amnesty International, now we too want to go to ICC and Amnesty International. It looks that way to me, because in my view, yes, the way the gentleman was treated was absolutely abominable and must be condemned. I think that the Nigerian army are well equipped to go in and retrieve him and do whatever they need to do while staying within the ambits of the law. So they don't have too much of my sympathy, to be honest.
But we're having a double way in this story. The Nigerian army of the opinion that this man served, that the man is still in service. Now, is it that the Nigerian army don't really know the man's status?
No, I mean...
Or are we having a discrepancy now to determine his own idea?
We have to go with the official statement from the Nigerian army. Nobody will know who works for the Nigerian army more than the Nigerian army themselves. So,
82 division, something happened in 82 division last some months ago, where a man, killed a woman, allegedly, though the Nigerian army were like, they are looking into that. It happened there in 82 division. Nigerian army of the opinion that the man who did that, it's not, or was not recruited from the joint task force. And they said he's not a repentant Boko Haram member. Whereas we have other information out there on the social media platform showing that this man was recruited from the joint task force as a repentant Boko Haram member. So do you also think that we're seeing a clear notion of all the stories happening?
Well, it's. I guess we would have to take that as a separate case, and maybe that would call to question the integrity of the information that comes out of the Nigerian. And we do know, we've seen in the past that, they've not necessarily painted themselves in glory when it comes to even disseminating factual information about things that are going on. I remember the very unfortunate incident in 2020 where we all saw live videos. I saw live transmission, Instagram live feed, where bullets were being removed from people's legs. And then the Nigerian army came out in an official statement and said it was, what do they call it, doctored or something like that. That was a bit ridiculous. So they have a checkered history. And for me, it's the reason I'm a bit unsympathetic towards whatever they're saying now. I think the guy that is being maltreated by IPOB, if that is the case, should be rescued, and they should deal with them with the full force of the law and the might that they have, the might of the state, and that's that about that. Why are they going to the ICC?
Okay.
I don't understand that at all.
Thanks very much. Let me stay with you on this issue. You said something about this case not being isolated. I think it has a broader perspective.
Absolutely.
So in the sense that it should have a broader perspective, do you think that it's some kind of selective justice on the part of the Nigerian army, to take the case of IPOB to the ICC and Amnesty International, the same Amnesty International that has several times called out the Nigerian army against inhuman treatments to civilians? And again, for the fact that the Nigerian army have not been able to take this same case of Boko Haram bandits and terrorists to the ICC. You recall what happened when Jonathan tried headlong, to decimate the terrorists. And it was like, we are going to ICC because in here, 9jeria, you are chief of army staff. You people are killing my people and all of that. So do you think it amounts to selective justice on the part of the Nigerian army to do one thing in this case and do another in another case in the same jurisdiction?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's part of the reason that I'm skeptical towards their call, because it's one. I mean, look, that's one single individual. One individual that is maltreated by any unlawful means or whatever is too much. You know, you don't have to get to 2 or 3. So we have to condemn that. But my goodness, I mean, the kidnappings that are happening every day in this country, people taking ransom and then still killing the victims. Where was the Nigerian army and where was their petition to the ICC? You know, when all of these things were happening. For me, honestly, it's ridiculous. I think that sometimes these government officials really do need a bit of reorientation. You know, they have to take citizens a bit more seriously than they do.
Does it speak to the complicity or lack of intentionality on the part of the government in fighting insecurity? Do you think should we think in that direction?
Well, I mean, look, that's a bigger problem. That's a big problem that we are grappling with, and we need answers to. You know, why are the bandits? Why do they seem so powerful? Why?